what we're going to show you is how to run from the very start of a campaign into actually sending out your emails and your postal records. As I mentioned, we're the data partners, so I'm just going to log in. You've made the informed decision to purchase, so how does it all work? What you get is you'll get direct access to an expert at Royal Mail who will give you all the information and all of the materials you need to get started. One of which will be a link to this landing page, which is our DBS co-branded landing page. You'll also be given a password, which you can change as you wish. So you log in. This is what you're greeted with. Straight away, we're going to demonstrate two different campaigns to you, both hopefully tailored to something that will sit with you guys and you'll have understanding with. We're going to do a B2B campaign and also a B2C. Now, obviously, you guys are in a great position that you have access into both markets. You're not just purely B2C focused, or you're not just purely B2B focused. I had a word with Brendan, actually, in regards to the different kind of campaigns that you guys are probably going to be wanting to run at the moment. As you can see, I've just clicked on B2B first. Something that, from my knowledge, is in the prevalence at the moment is the workplace pension information. I guess you guys are probably going to be quite busy over the next few months with that kind of stuff. So I thought, who are the targets that you guys are going to be needing to speak to? We all know that you're going to have a list, a database, I don't know how you keep it at the moment, of existing clients. Sadly, although we all hate to admit it, client churn is something that does happen. So you're going to constantly be needing to top your clients and your prospects up. So this will show you how you can select more prospects. The first page you're greeted with is geographical selection. As Jim touched on, if you're looking for face-to-face meetings, you guys might not want to go too far afield when trying to target people. So you've got access to, as you can see, different postal regions, which are quite vast. You've got radial buttons down the side that let you access different postcodes. This is where we check the Wi-Fi in the room, which is great, actually. And this shows how niche you can break down to. So instead of just the postcode areas, you can be as targeted as you need to be with this. There's also free text selections here for towns and cities as well, which, for instance, I'm from lovely Essex in Chelmsford, so hit that and it will bring up different towns and cities. So for this campaign, HR and pensions, I thought, let's target the southeast, which is great. Also, you can check to include the areas in your search or across for exclude. So on this one, we just want to target the southeast. Hit continue, and while you're doing this, the whole system is calculating how many records are falling within the criteria. Line of business and SIC codes. Now, with this pension campaign, a lot of businesses might not qualify. For instance, the agricultural sector. You might not want to be targeting or dragging yourselves down country roads into little farms to discuss their pension plans. So what this allows you to do is use the search bar, as before, to exclude based on SIC codes, which when you buy the package, you'll get a list of SIC codes for you to use as a lookup. And you can, once again, choose to include or exclude businesses. So let's exclude a few agricultural businesses from our selection there. Now, the SIC codes, I believe there's in the region of 500 of them, which is why we provide you with a lookup yourselves as well, because otherwise it could take quite a long time. But it helps you to obviously be as specific as you want. Now, with the pension plan that we're discussing, you might only be wanting to target larger businesses. Now, there's different ways for you guys to target that. One is based on turnover bands, which, as you can see here. The other will be based on the number of employees within the business. So you can select the default will always be to select all, but that's when you then have access to narrow or widen your search as you want. The type of site as well, you can choose to select only head offices or single sites, but if you want, you can also select franchisees or different branches, so let's just select head office and single sites. As discussed, other ways of narrowing down your search based on size, employee bands. So let's go for all businesses with 200 plus employees for this example. Now this is where the package I think really comes into power. Jim discuss the different channels and the different ways into market for you guys. This package allows on the B2B side you to not only use the Royal Mail's branding postage and direct mail, but also access email data for businesses. So select all data will bring up all the records that qualify. Select only email data will only give you the volume where the records have an email address as well as a postal address, which about 20% of the total database will have email address available as well, which will be a preferred email address for the senior decision maker within that business. A lot of email, I don't know if any of you have got experience from buying from data companies. A lot of data companies will provide you with generic email addresses, info @ sales @. Now, they're good for small businesses, but for large businesses, how many emails do you think that they probably receive a day to that? So this is where we've got preferred contact methods for senior decision makers within their business. When you've made all the selections, hit the get count button, and that will do a bit of maths, which is good because my maths is rubbish, and tell you that on this one, there's only 2 prospects available. The reason why is because I've made a mistake. Sorry, guys. You can go back, if you find, like I say, that you might have made some mistake, you can go back and make some edits to it. So what we've been saying to a lot of the businesses involved is to have a play around and basically work out what you want to do. The reason why is because I forgot to exclude that, which is great. And then you can continue through. What's really great about this package is when dealing with data companies direct, quite a lot of the time, you'll find that you're hit with minimum orders. We, when dealing direct with clients, have minimum orders which are upwards usually of £500. What this allows you to do is to go in with your usage per month and take as many different smaller orders as you want. There we go, that's a bit better. As you can see now, we've got 1,600 records available that meet all that qualification. So you can go down, read it, make sure that you're happy with everything there, and then you can save selection. What this allows you to do, which is a new feature, is once you've saved your selection, you can then go back and just make additions to that. So you've done a campaign for the Southeast, you might want to do the same campaign for the Southwest. So instead of having to go through and make all the same selections, you can go in, open it up and just make the one addition. So let's just save this simple ways to grow. And then you can put a description in there, which will be something that you guys will be able to remember it by moving forward. So save the selection, and it must be at least 5 characters long. Just before I demonstrate that to you guys, it has to be at least 5 characters. Didn't know that. And when you've gone there, it will tell you the number of available prospects, the number of credits you've got. As you can see, I've saved mine up for a big campaign. You can tick to exclude prospects that you've previously purchased, which is great. The data is all provided on a single use. So if you tick that, that will remove any that you've already used. However, you can also revisit those again at a later date if you wish to.
To what extent is that you could use exclusivity on those numbers?
Well, basically,
if I buy those,
yep.
Does that mean I'm the only purchaser for a period of time?
Yeah, usually what happens when a record gets output from our system, it will go into what we call data quarantine, which means that it won't be able to be released again for a minimum period of 2 weeks. So what that do, you might find that one day you go in and your count's slightly higher than the time you've gone in before. That's to maintain the integrity of the data and also the responsiveness of it as well. As the point probably raised, you don't want to be mailing out the same piece of information that 2 or 3 of your competitors might be mailing out the same day.
Potentially within a couple of weeks somebody else could be out.
Potentially, yes. So how many records do you want to purchase for this one? We'll say 500, hit confirm, and the order now button will come up. That order now will then recalculate and you'll get a download that's in progress. Now this is where we do our blue Peter. Here's what I made earlier. And we've already saved it on there. This just demonstrates the data as it will come out. The best bit about this and what we're going to demonstrate is how integrated the system is, the packages and the partners within it. All of the headings will help you to feed in. As you can see, you've got fields there from the full addresses, the contact names, their job title, and the email address. There is a mix of some generics in there, but once again, that is the preferred contact for that individual. So what I was going to demonstrate finally, before I hand over to the other guys, is some B2C selections as well. So this is going to try and show how niche and select you can be. In homage of our Yorkshireman in the office, Jim, I thought that we would select on Thirsk, which is, I'm informed, a little town in Yorkshire.
It's underwater, I think, at the moment.
It's underwater.
Where James Herriot had his practice.
Okay, there you go. So just to show how niche we can be, this is the consumer selection. So you're then given access to a whole peripheral of selections to narrow down your consumer prospects. Gender, which was select all. The campaign we had in mind for this was an equity release campaign, something that, once again, I think there's a lot of information on at the moment. So I thought about what kind of targeting are you needing for an equity release campaign? Probably the older generations. And this is where the DocMail Mail piece comes into play. So we're going to look at over 65s. Annual income, we probably are going to need to be looking at the lower end of the scale when we're looking at equity release. So up to 30k. Had a look at homeowners. So what this does is allow you to select only where the people are known to be the homeowners of their property. Other selections there are, you can target if they've got children or not, and also there's a list of different occupation bands as well. So you can look to target company directors, people in the health sector, and so on. Once again, that will then allow you to get a count in exactly the same way as the B2B version works. And lo and behold, we've got 50 people, I should say, in Thirsk who would qualify for your targeted equity release campaign. So once again, we can save a selection. And once again, we can place our order. And in our best repeater fashion. There it is again. So once again, you're then given your consumer prospects with first name and surname, so you can personalise the pieces you're going out to them with, full address and full contact details. Now, what I'm going to do is hand over to Darren, who's going to show you how you can contact the B2B data via the email, and then Jason's going to show you how to target the B2C data. So,